Just remember, the more times you have intercourse, the more your chances of getting pregnant. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to another exciting episode of TTC Diaries with Dr. O. I'm always excited to have you guys here with me as usual. And today we're going to be discussing another important topic that is very, very vital for TTC moms to know. As you already know, this show is for TTC moms. So TTC means trying to conceive, in case you didn't know. So in case you're trying to conceive, if you're trying to have a baby, whatever way you put it, right? This show is for you, because this is what we talk about all day long, all day, every day. You already know. And just in case you haven't joined our Ozone community yet, what are you waiting for? We have an Ozone community on Facebook where we come together, discuss, talk about our struggles, ask for advice and just exchange notes, basically, right? We're always excited whenever we hear that an Ozone mom got pregnant after trying to conceive for so long and all that. It's always a big deal. Celebration and party for us. So yeah, we look forward to hearing your stories. Please always remember to share your stories with us, share your conceptual stories. Let's know how your journey to motherhood is going. Like I always say, you're not alone in this journey. Always remember that. Today we're going to be talking about something very important. Like I said, on the journey to trying to conceive, a lot of moms easily get carried away and they forget about the really, really simple things, really, really basic things that could actually be preventing them from getting pregnant. So today we're going to be discussing one of them, which is knowing when you are ovulating, right? And to be more specific, I'm going to be talking about how you can calculate your fertile window, so potentially when you're going to ovulate, using the calendar method. And I'm going to be using the very, very simple calendar method. This one is called the standard method, okay? First of all, for this method to work for you, your period has to be regular. So for people that don't have very regular periods, right, this calendar method is not the best for them because it's not very accurate. So you might want to use other methods of knowing when you're ovulating, which I'm going to be discussing in subsequent videos, which you should look out for. But today we're going to be focusing on how to know you're ovulating using the calendar method, which is for people with regular periods. So regular period means that your period comes regularly, so it's coming like basically every month, right? Not that it's coming today and then you're not seeing it again until 2 months time or things like that, right? So you're having it at least every month. For you to be able to use this calendar method, first things first is to learn how to calculate your menstrual cycle. By the way, calendar method is also called the reading method, in case some of you have heard of this before and you're wondering, is it the same thing as reading method? Yes, it is. Pretty much the same thing, just a different name. For you to calculate your menstrual cycle, it's very easy. How do you do that? Your menstrual cycle starts on the first day of your period and ends on the first day of your next period. For teaching purposes, I'm going to use very, very simple dates. So let's assume that your period starts on 1st of January and then your next period starts on 30th of January. If we are going to calculate your cycle length, it means we are going to count all the way from 1 to 30. So that gives us a 30-day cycle. Just for emphasis, I'm going to give another example. Let's assume your period starts on 1st of January again, and then your next period starts on the 26th of January. If we count all the way from 1 to 26, that's going to give us a 26-day cycle. How are you going to know your fertile window now that you know your cycle length? So let's assume that day 1 of your period is 1st of January. You're going to be counting all the way to the first day of your next period to determine your total cycle length. So let's assume your next period starts on 30th of January. Counting from 1 all the way to 30 means that your cycle length is 30 days. Now, ovulation normally happens mid-cycle, right? So that means in the middle of your cycle, somewhere in the middle of your cycle. So if your cycle length is 30 days, just remember that your day 1 to 7 of your period, if you have intercourse, you're not likely to get pregnant during that time, right? Because it's too far away from when ovulation will happen. But between day 8 and day 19, that is considered to be your fertile window, because ovulation would happen sometime during that window. And the more times you have intercourse during that fertile window, the more your chances of getting pregnant. That's because when you ovulate, in case you didn't know, the egg only lasts for 24 hours after ovulation. So if you've had intercourse a couple of days before your ovulation, you have more chances of getting pregnant, or at least if you have intercourse up until the day you ovulate and even 24 hours after, you are increasing your chances. That's why we say frequency, because sometimes it's difficult to tell the exact time when the ovulation will happen. But the more intercourse you have, the more chances you have of actually conceiving, because the sperm will be present when the egg is released, and it can now fertilize the egg. So between the 18 to 19 of your cycle is where you consider to be your fertile window. After day 19, so we're talking about day 20 to the end of your cycle, that's day 30, if you are having a 30-day cycle. If you have intercourse, you're not likely to get pregnant, just like day 1 to 7. So basically, you are using the days to calculate. You can take this example again. If, for example, the first day of your period was 1st of January, the first day of your next period was, say, 28th of January. Based on counting, you can see that 1, 2, 3, all the way to 28. Your cycle is a 28-day cycle. So no matter your cycle length, day 1 to 7, no chance of conception. Day 8 to 19, likely chance of conception. Day 20 afterwards, no chance of conception. So your fertile window, just remember, you are looking at day 8 to 19 of your cycle. I remember that this is for people that have a regular cycle. For you to be able to get pregnant, you have to target having frequent intercourse during your fertile window to increase your chances of conceiving, right? If you're having intercourse outside of your fertile window, so that's before or after, then you're not going to conceive, right? You're just having intercourse for fun with your partner, which is okay. But if you are actively trying to conceive, you need to target that fertile window. Now, how do we determine the fertile window? So if your cycle is regular, from day 1 to 7 of your cycle, that is before your fertile window. If you're having intercourse during those days, then you're not going to conceive. From day 20 downwards, if you're having intercourse from day 20 to the end of your cycle, that is outside of your fertile window and you're not going to conceive. In order to conceive, mark this date on the calendar. Day 8 to 19 of your cycle is the window that you should be looking at. Note that I did not say 8th of the month, right? I said day 8 to 19 of your cycle. So for example, if your period starts on 2nd of January, day 8 will be the 9th of January. If your period starts on 3rd of January, day 8 will be the 10th of January. So you are basically counting from the first day of your period all the way down, right? To be able to determine when day 1 is, day 2 is, like that. So the last day of your cycle is when the next period starts, which could be any time depending on when you start. It could be day 30, it could be day 29, it could be day 28, it could be day 26, right? It varies. And just because your period ended on day 30 this month does not mean it must end on day 30 next month. The next month it might end day 26. Following month it might end day 28, There's always a range, but not too wide gap, but that little gap, maybe a two-day difference, let's say plus or minus 2 days. However, that's why we're not saying this particular day is when you ovulate. We're also giving you a range or a window to work with, so that even if your period fluctuates a bit, say moves from 30 days to 28 days back to 30 days, you are always within the right range, because we're working with a window here. So you want to be having intercourse during that fertile window. You want to be having intercourse frequently, so if possible every day throughout that window, to increase your chances of conception. If we're calculating mid-cycle, for example, if your period, for example, is a 28-day cycle, exactly mid-cycle will be around day 14. So if you really want to intensify effort, we can be intensifying our efforts towards that mid-cycle part. So for example, if for any reason you're not able to have intercourse at the rest of the fertile window, make sure that towards that mid part, so day 14 for a 28-day cycle, you are having more frequent intercourse. So you are targeting 12, 13, 14, 15, that kind of thing, right? Just remember, the more times you have intercourse, the more your chances of getting pregnant. And try not to get worked up. Don't get yourself worked up, because when you are stressed, when you're not relaxed, that could even affect your chances of getting pregnant, because you're not even relaxed. So just try, don't make it look like work. Actually enjoy it, enjoy the moment. So kind of look forward to it, do different things to spice things up, make it something that you're looking forward to genuinely because you want to have fun, not only because you want to have a baby, right? Put the fact that you're trying to have a baby at the back of your mind, right? So that you can enjoy it more. And trust me, when you're enjoying it, there's more chances that baby will come. Because babies like good things. When they see that you're enjoying it, they want to come and join the enjoyment. Or in some cases, it spoils the fun, because babies are very good at spoiling the fun. People that have babies can. They notice, right? So just make sure basically that you're taking stress off your mind, you're enjoying yourself. Like, just be natural, right? Don't stress too much about it. Don't think too much about it. Don't overthink it. Just do you, right? Like I always say, you're not alone in this journey to motherhood. Just keep your eyes on the prize, and the baby will come sooner than you think. If you enjoyed watching this video, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and share with someone who you think can need to see this. See you again next week.